All right. What's up, you guys? So this story is absolutely bananas. This Jake Paul Canelo, this is it's like a combat sports, I don't know, soap opera. Because this deal was done. Like this deal with Canelo, I verified this personally. Like this deal was on the half-yard line. Canelo and Jake Paul were for real going to fight in May, which for those of you who don't have a calendar in front of you is in 3 months. 3 months. Jake Paul versus Canelo was really going to happen, which is so insane for like 55 reasons that we're going to discuss. But yeah, and then at the end, the deal got snatched from Jake by some people who then did a little sea walk, like publicly. You know, it wasn't just like, you know, there's no secrets about why this happened. There's no like mystery as to how the Jake Paul and Canelo fight, which was essentially done, got taken apart. Usually you're like, oh, they couldn't get the fight done. It's like, yeah, no, we know exactly what happened this time. And yeah, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Dubs, how'd you know Dubs is coming on? Dubs is coming on in about 30 to 40 minutes. We'll talk about the Wes Watson arrest and arraignment or whatever. But yeah, dude, Choke Dealer, what's up, man? I saw you sent me an email. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I will. So yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that during this stream. But let me ask, let's get into it, dude. Let's have an interactive day today, chat. So here's a question for you guys. How many of you, and don't do the knee jerk thing, right? Because when I say how many of you would have been excited about a Canelo versus Jake Paul fight, I realize lots of people just like on autopilot want to say, no, nothing Jake Paul does is cool. But I'm serious. Like, because I would have been very excited for that fight. Like, really, really excited. You know? It would have been absolutely amazing, dude. Because you got one of two things. You have either, or outcomes. You're either going to have the most improbable boxing victory in history, or you're going to get to see Jake get absolutely pulverized, tenderized, and then knocked out. You know, it's like one or the other, right? But yeah, it's unfortunate because now, like, there's no other way to characterize this. Jake Paul got sunned, you know, like generally speaking, in some businesses, you could kind of go, there's nobody bigger than that, you know, and in combat sports, there is an answer to that. It's not the UFC, but there's nobody bigger than that came in and spanked Jake's team on the bottom. And they were like, no, you're not signing fucking Canelo, guy. But thank you for trying, you know? So yeah, I guess we got enough people on. Let's just start talking about this thing, dude. All right. So here's how this unfolded for me personally today. Okay. So let me go to, I got an alert from Low Kick MMA. And it said that the Canelo and Jake Paul fight was done and it was booked. Let me see if they still have it up. Because wait, hang on. They might have taken it down because it ended up being incorrect as I verified shortly afterwards. Nope, there it is, dude. So see that? So I got this alert at noon. And I mean, in case you guys are having trouble reading that, Jake Paul versus Canelo is officially booked according to the promoter. Okay. So I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Now, what actually happened was it was like verbally, you know, initially booked. And then someone else came in and just snaked the deal. And it was like, it happened so fast with no warning, to the point where like you had people already saying that this deal was done. But the Saudis came in, and this gentleman right here came in and just was like, and no, I assume you guys know who this is, right? Right. I assume like this is the dude that runs the entire like Saudi boxing program. And so not only did he come in and sign Canelo to a 4-fight deal, right? But 370 viewers killing it. I'm not sure if that's like a joke. Like the fucking stream started 3 minutes ago, you weirdo. Hey, Blake, you could fucking have sex with your entire family on a stream for 24 straight hours. And even if your sister was hot, you still would never get 370 followers. If you're being a dick, if you were being nice, then what I meant was, thanks, dude. You're a stud. I appreciate you. So just take, like, depending on how you meant it, like this response is for that and this response is for that. You know, apply the one that is correctly applied. Anyway, all right. So, well, no. This is, who cares after that fixed fight with Tyson will not pay to see. That's the thing, is like, that's why the Canelo one would have been so sick, because Canelo's not you think Canelo's going to go in and half-ass a Jake Paul? Like, there's no scenario where that could plausibly be anything other than a fucking murder fest, you know, one way or the other. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. That really, that was actually like one of like our like cool viewers though. And he was like joking, and then we just, you know, but, okay. So when Ali came, or I'm sorry, when Turk came in and bought this thing, like, look at this. So this is like, it just came out of nowhere. Boom, boom. Let me see. It's like right here. Yeah, it's right here. So this is the first one. 17 hours ago. So out of nowhere, they're like, you know, like to the point where the next morning, media outlets were still announcing that the Canelo fight was done because they thought it was done. And then it's like, and out of left field, don't mess with the lion. 4 fights for Canelo with Rida season. The deal is done. A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. Fear the lion, not the jungle. So like right out of the gate, taking a shot at those guys, you know, like, but don't worry, it gets much more direct. And then here he does this one.
Canelo in Riyadh.
I assume you guys can hear
in May. The big fight in the history of boxing. In September, then 2 more fights in 26. Don't miss with the lion.
Yeah, so he's I think he meant don't mess with the lion. But so he signed a 4-fight deal. Dude, Terrence Crawford against Canelo. Let's go. That fight is actually booked in September. That's exciting. That's like really exciting. But okay, hang on. Wait, what's this in response to? What? There's no way Canelo. Okay, I don't even know what that means. All right, so he hold on. He said something directly about Jake here in a second. I need to watch this movie again. I don't know, like, dude, Canelo is like if I was born in Mexico and I was way better looking, much more talented, much more disciplined, and had dedicated my entire life to boxing and was younger. I've literally always rooted for Canelo. Always. Cake or death. I mean, this is a fair point, kind of, but like, come on, dude. The last time someone said he was going to beat Paul, he got his ass handed to him. Okay, that was Mike Tyson, who's 58, and by all trained eyeballs, everyone is pretty sure there's something kind of fishy going on with that fight. You're talking about Canelo Alvarez, man. Like, I mean, those are not the same thing. This is what I was saying. I was talking to my buddy at jiu-jitsu earlier, and he was saying that that he thinks that Jake dodged a bullet because he thinks he was going to get his ass kicked and it was going to be terrible for his brand. And I was like, I don't agree with that, dude. I mean, no. Like, he's going to get his ass kicked, but I don't agree that it would hurt his brand, because to me, if those guys fought 10,000 times, Canelo's going to beat the fucking brakes off of him 9,999 times out of 10,000, probably 10,000. You know what I mean? Like, if there is any chance of Jake beating Canelo, it's not higher than 1 in 10,000, right? I don't think. I mean, who knows? Maybe fucking Jake's got a whole nother gear that I've just never seen. But from what I've seen, he essentially has no chance of winning that fight. His chance is just big enough that you would be able to sell the living shit out of that fight, dude. But the reason I would have so much respect for Jake taking that fight is it's insane. Like, just the fact that he would take that fight is fucking crazy. To me, anyway. It's like, that's a pretty big fucking jump in competition. You're like, all right, I'm going to go Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley. And that was a big jump in competition. But he's not a boxer, but like, Tyron has knockouts. Then you're going like, who's in between Anderson Silva, then Tommy Fury, loss, then Mike Tyson. Then it's like, and now let's just go Canelo. Let's just go best boxer on the planet. You're like, whoa, dude. Yeah, he doesn't need to win. And that, like, so what I'm saying is, like, if he gets his ass kicked, of course he gets his ass kicked. I think it's gangster that he took the fight. Keaton. Okay, so every time I see you guys say this, I realize how much I need to start live streaming on a schedule. I remember I talked to one of Guru's like longtime fans one time, and he was talking. He said that he was like, I can't remember why he was telling me this, and he's like, a long time ago, Guru just used to just stream like out of nowhere, like not on a schedule. It was a total clusterfuck. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I still fucking do that, like an absolute dimwit with zero strategy. But all right, so let's go over to Jake Paul's statement on it, and then we'll look at MVP promotions also, and then I'll tell you what I think about how this happened. Amanda Serrano says, when I saw the news Jake and Canelo are fighting, I was not surprised. Jake makes the impossible happen. Agree. He changed my life, made women's boxing a priority, gave me and Katie our biggest paydays. I'm with Jake. Yeah, I mean, he's been very good to her. Wait. This guy, Lou DeBella, says, no question that Canelo versus Jake Paul is not happening. It's good for what very little is left of the integrity of boxing. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. The sham of that travesty being debated by casuals and written about by nothing, whatever, rent-a boxers would have been unbearable. For that, I thank Turkey. Okay, listen, guy. Okay. I don't know who this dude is, and I am not going to just full throttle shit on him. What I'm going to shit on, though, is that mindset of what the business that you're in is. Like, if this dude is a combat sports person, right? Even if he's just a fucking journalist, like, you're in the same, I'm in combat sports. He's in combat sports, like all the way up the line. The fighters, the promoters, people who talk about it, we're all in, we're all part of the same thing. All the fans, all of you guys. And one thing that I think is so fucking lame is when they try to pretend that what we're doing is more complicated than putting two people into an enclosed space and watching them try to knock each other unconscious. Like, let's not pretend that like this is some kind of I don't know, like, no, this is not like an Olympic, oh my God, we're going to find out who the greatest is. There's no money involved here. This is just about the beauty of sports on the worldwide stage. And there are principles and there's a whatever. It's like, this is fucking the fight business, dude. Okay. You're putting two people in a ring and they're going to beat the living shit out of each other. Now, the fact that one of them is highly likely to absolutely obliterate the other guy. Okay. Well, the only reason that should matter is how much does that fact impact the interest that the fans will have in that fight. And in this situation, the idea of Canelo Alvarez beating Jake Paul into a bloody pulp probably sounds pretty enticing to a lot of people who would pay for that event. So like, and this is not, this is completely unrelated to the Saudis. This is about like this take in particular, oh, thank God. Like if he wants to say, I can't, why am I watching him fight Jake Paul when I could just sit here and not watch him fight anyone and prepare to see him fight Terrence Crawford? Like, I would rather, I'm much more excited to see Terrence Crawford. Be like, okay, so think about it like this. May fucking 20th or whatever it was going to be. So May 20th, you were going to be able to see Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez fight. Now you will not. That's what happened here, dude. Like, we don't need to make it like way more complicated than that. You were going to get to see those two guys fight, and now you will not. Now you could just wait for him to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, there's not a deeper meaning then. I don't need to fly above all of society and look down and be like, thank you, Jesus, that this travesty of an event between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez never materialized because the sanctity of boxing would have never recovered. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Give me a break. If there's a homeless guy I'm friends with over here and he's got a smart mouth, and there's a fucking dude that works at Starbucks down the street and he's got a smart mouth, and they're both kind of funny. And it's like, hey, did you hear that homeless guy and the fucking Starbucks guy got into it and they're going to settle that shit in the parking lot, but they're charging $20? I'd be like, take my money, dude. I'm curious to see how these guys handle that. That guy's funny. That guy's funny. That's all this is. Okay. You just need to have the following recipe. A, is there at least a chance that both guys could win? Doesn't need to be a big one, but is there some kind of chance that both guys could win the fight? In this case, yes, of course. Not a very big one in Jake's case, but it could happen. Right? Okay. Do the fans know who both guys are? Yes. Okay. And then how many people know who they are? A lot. Okay. And of the people who know who they are, how many of those people are interested in whether or not each guy wins or loses the fight? It's like everyone. It's like, boom, you got a fucking winner then. So shut up, guy. This, the little bit of integrity that's left in boxing. Thank goodness that we are not going to sacrifice that to this travesty that is Jake Paul. Now, again, if he wanted to hammer Jake Paul for the fucking Tyson fight, that's different. I have no issue there. That's an event that already happened. And you could be like, man, that looked real fishy, dude. It's lucky that you weren't, if he was charging a pay-per-view for that fight, you'd had a really big problem. But people watching it for free on Netflix, you can kind of be like, well, it seemed like maybe for sure, neither guy was trying to knock each other out. Not really that awesome. In a Canelo fight, there's absolutely no scenario where that would make any sense. Why would they do that in that one? So, I mean, I hear you, dude, but I'm not saying he has a 1% chance. I'm not even saying he has a 0.1% chance. Maybe not even a 0.001% chance. But of course he has a chance. You know? I don't think this is accurate. Let me see. Because like Jake like bulked up huge for the Tyson fight. Let me see. Canelo walk around weight. Yeah, see, look. It says he walks around at $180 to 205. And I think Jake probably walks around 205 or 200 or something like that. Let me see actually what Jake Paul weight classes. All right. So when he fought against Woodley, do they not include this? Yeah, I mean, dude, when he fought Woodley, I think Woodley and Canelo are probably around the same size. Walking around. Maybe Woodley's a little bit bigger. Whoa. That's funny, dude. Okay, let me get caught up on some chats, yo. Let me just scroll up a little bit and talk to you guys. And then I'm going to bring on Dubs, and we're going to talk about Wes Watson going to jail. Luca, I don't agree, dude. I mean, I'm not saying anyone should be clamoring for this fight. I'm saying if they're going to put that fight on, I absolutely want to see it. And you know, dude, I'll tell you the fight. You want to know what the fight is? The fight is Conor versus Jake. I realize this is not going to happen unless there's one scenario where you could potentially at least explore whether a Conor and Jake fight could happen. And that is in this scenario. So remember when Conor got into BKFC, we've talked about this a bunch. I might be being incredibly redundant, but in case you have not heard me talk about this, Conor is now an owner in BKFC. He invested in their funding round and then became this big public face of BKFC and kind of, running it with Dave Feldman. So right before that, Dana White had been photographed with Dave Feldman at his office. So they had definitely talked. I know 100% through my own stuff, not through the press. I know that Feldman was doing a funding round. It was going around and he was raising funds for this, this investment round that he was doing. And that was before he met with Dana. And then after that, him and Conor announced this deal. So bottom line is, without a shred of doubt, Feldman had talked to Dana about the funding that they're raising and whether or not they'd be interested in investing. And I said from the beginning, if Dana and Endeavor and Ari and them knew Conor was going to go into that deal and then they did not invest in BKFC, that would be one of the most insane decisions ever. It would make no sense. Like if the guy's trying to raise $100 million, I think that's what, I think it was, I think he was trying to raise like 50 million at like a 200 million pre-money valuation, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't matter. Whether it was 50 or 100 million that he was trying to raise, for the UFC to take a substantial position in that funding round is nothing like to them. $50 million. I mean, it's not like nothing, but $50 million is not, I mean, that's not a big line item for the UFC if what you're buying is lifetime connection to Conor McGregor's career, even when he gets out of his UFC contract, especially when you consider that Conor McGregor folded his leg in half in his last fight. Okay. July 2021, he popped his leg in half, right? So no one's ever come back from that injury and been the same in mixed martial arts. It never happened. Okay. And Chael made a really good point about it too, where he was like, you had Matt Weidman, Chris, it's like, God damn, Chris Weidman. I've been calling him, like, if I do not actively think about it, I call him Matt Weidman because I know a Matt Weidman. It's neither here nor there. Chris Weidman. And Chael's like, he's like the most disciplined guy in the world. And if he couldn't come back and put it back together, and he's like, and Conor's the most undisciplined guy in the world, which is kind of funny. I don't necessarily think it's actually like, oh, well, if Chris Weidman couldn't do it, that means Conor can. But I will say this, in the event that Dana is in that deal with Conor, and and Dana and Endeavor secretly own a big piece of BKFC, well, if you let Conor do BKFC, his leg is a non-factor. It doesn't matter. You're not going to he's not going to get his leg kicked, doesn't need to shoot, none of that shit. All he has to do is stand on it and be able to fucking move around like a boxer. It literally solves your issue with Conor's, fragility on that leg. So in the event that Dana is in that deal, I may or may not have suggested to people that may or may not be able to at least throw this down the hall for the fucking biggest Hail Mary long shot of all time, that it is possible that Dana might let Conor do a fight against Jake Paul in BKFC in bare knuckle, because it would be literally the biggest fucking event ever. And what you would get from that, if they are in that position that I think they are probably in at BKFC, silent, well, that's going to launch BKFC into the stratosphere. Like you're going to get the most value out of your business relationship with Conor out of that fight, assuming that you are an owner in BKFC, for sure. In my opinion, that's my hypothesis. So that's like that's the only way I could think of that actually happening. You know what I mean? Gi or no gi? Dude, I'm trying to decide actually. I'm trying to decide right now if I'm going to do, like, because I'm doing IBJJF Austin Open, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do gi or no gi. I'm signed up for gi right now, but I might switch over to no gi. I don't want to do both. I don't need to fight 100 times, dude. I'm not like, I don't want to fight once. I don't want to fight fucking once. But I'm going to, just because I don't not do shit if the only reason is because I'm being a pussy. And if I didn't fight, that's the only reason it would be, is because I'm being a pussy. My teammates are fighting. I'm just like, I don't like fighting. I don't want to do it at all, but I'm going to. Would I ever host a JITS tournament? Huh. I've never thought about that, dude. I literally never thought about that. Maybe. All right. So I'm going to bring on Dubs here in a second, and we are going to talk about Wes Watson. Okay. Wes Watson. I used to train no-gi a lot. I have not been training a ton of no-gi recently, but my, like, I would say honestly, like probably 80% of my game in gi translates directly to no gi, like where it's not that different. Probably just means that my like gi game is kind of unsophisticated, but yeah, I've never felt like when I moved to no gi, I've never felt like, oh shit, I don't know what to do because I can't fucking hold on to anything. It's like, but yeah. I mean, the only reason that being injured would matter is if I couldn't fight. So, you know what I mean? All right, I'm bringing on Dubs, and let's talk about Wes Watson. You guys remember Dubs?
First of all, I put on a blue shirt because somebody said your eyes looked amazing in the blue shirt. So
it's true. They do. They really do, dude. Hey, I'll flex my eyes on you. Hey, remember when you used to be able to carry one of these? None for you, dude.
I had bad intentions when I did, so I'm glad I don't.
But you're not allowed to anymore. You're not allowed.
No.
But everybody, this is my new Springfield Prodigy. How sexy is that thing, dude?
Beautiful. It looks beautiful.
So
we got?
Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna go through. We should probably just watch the John Bravo one again. Actually, we'll watch both of them. They're both pretty short, right?
Yeah.
Let me pull that shit up. For those of you guys who do not know who Dubs is, Dubs, give him like a quick one while I pull this up.
I have a couple YouTube channels. Unfortunately, at a very young age, I got involved with gangs, chose gangs over everything. And I went to the California Youth Authority, which is prison for kids, at 15. I got out after doing a little over 3 years. I got out for 5 months and then wound up killing someone and went to prison for life.
He
Had
was
20
arrested.
for life, and I did 24 years in about 2 weeks. Figured out what's most important in life, grew up, and I've been out almost 8 years. And here I am now with the famous, gorgeous eyes, Jesse on fire.
Listen. Don't try to butter me up with that hot eyes talk because it's gonna work. Yeah, dude. So like basically I choose what channels I watch on YouTube based 95% on if I just like listening to the person talk. And so I started watching Dubs make fun of Wes Watson, and then I just started watching all of his shit. And so anybody who doesn't know who Wes Watson is, this dude is I'm telling you, if you don't know who he is, stick around because it's gonna be fucking funny anyway.
Yeah.
But in a super short nutshell, this dude he went to prison. Like Dubs, I love this. Is so funny because it's like not really intentional to kind of like to do like a side by side, but it's like Dubs was in a gang, did a bad thing, was in prison for a very, very, very long time in really high security prisons, and then is a success story of like genuine reform, comes out, goes and talks to children about like not doing gang stuff. He's like a genuinely great example of what can happen from someone who had been given a long sentence. Wes Watson got sentenced for, I think it was like robbery and an assault, and he got sentenced to like 8 years. He did 6, but then when he came out, he painted himself like an Aryan Brotherhood member, and then started making these videos pretending that he had basically run all of California. He's like he was like the beast in fucking Shot Caller.
Everywhere he was.
And so Dubs, having actually have been to Pelican Bay, Folsom, and all these places that Wes was pretending that he knew about, started making like reaction videos, just making fun of him, like just being like, "Oh, is that right, Wes? So what happened after that?" Yeah. And so now,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, now what happened with Wes is he started selling these memberships, whatever. He got this big group of haters, and he started inviting them to come fight him. And some gigantic dude took him up on it, came to his gym, set up a camera, walked up on Wes, and then Wes and 4 of his buddies beat the fucking shit out of this guy while he was, defenseless. And Wes kicked this guy in the face fucking 100 times, and then he bragged about it. He posted pictures of it online, and now he just got arrested. He's facing going back to prison. He was a fucking multi-millionaire, and he fucked it all up. And now we're going to go through his arrest and his arraignment and all that stuff.
Yes.
What do you I cover everything there pretty good?
Yeah. And well, yeah, because we can talk about the rest as we go along.
Okay, cool. Okay, Nick, Jesse, would you debate Parker? He's a TikTok debater, considered a debate. I mean, I could debate him on whether or not, he'll have sex with 7 or 8 dudes over the next like 2 months. But like these guys want to talk about shit that just is like, I just listen to it. I'm like, oh man, your opinion on that's super important. Cause like, if you're mad, then probably Elon's not going to shut down USAID. It's one of those things that like now just go along for the ride and shut the fuck up. Like, it doesn't matter if you're angry about it, not angry, happy, unhappy. It just seems like kind of pointless. You know what I mean?
One of my things real quick, whenever they talk about debating someone from the left, I wonder if you can debate them because they get so emotional. They get to the name calling. It's like, not even factual. The argument is not going to be factual. It's going to be, hey, the media said this, and it's like, fuck them.
Dude, they got one guy. They got one guy who's fucking exceptional at debating. His name's Destiny, and I like this is the same. I always feel like if I say something about people and then like I go watch other stuff, I'm like, shit, I gotta update my fucking opinion. I'm just gonna say one thing. Destiny clearly has some fucking serious sex shit issues.
Yes.
But I ended up watching a video that someone did. They were like yesterday, and it was like, I think it was called Content Nuke. And they're like, look at what a scumbag Destiny is. And when I was watching it, like in the majority of his takes, I found myself laughing and being like, that's exactly what I would have said. So I at least need to like, he is fucking funny, dude. In fairness, when he's not talking about Trump and crazy shit like that. But anyway. And then Choke Dealer, real quick, Jesse, if Strickland wins tomorrow, I'm shaving my head, turning into a handlebar mustache. Dude, I like it. I should have done something like that myself, you know? Anyway, all right, so let's watch this. This is Wes getting arrested yesterday.
5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Miami, by Miami Police Department. They elevated the charge to a felony battery assault charge, and I know that he is still in custody. Think about it. A guy goes to prison 7 years, comes out, tries to change his life. At first, he had such a great message. And then money, fame, greed, power, all of it got to him. And look what the end result is. Him getting arrested today, 5:30, thrown in a police car again.
Hey, Dubs, when you stay overnight in county, usually you're in like a group, like you don't have your own room, right?
Most places, no. It takes so long to book you in, you know, go through the housing and all that stuff. And then with that, I mean, that's kind of like going to the drunk tank, I would think, for him.
Yeah.
You know,
I was asking just because I was trying to imagine if he did have his own room, so he had time to just sit in solitude overnight and think about where he's at. Like, unless he's completely batshit crazy, you would have to just look and be like, I am such a fucking moron. What the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I fucked it up. I fucked it all up.
Hopefully he talked to himself the way he talks to everyone. Hopefully he called himself a bitch and a pussy and had man tits, and everything he says to everyone else, hopefully he said to himself.
That's what I do. That's why I'm such a gangster, because I'm constantly like, you pussy. Jesse on fire, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, that's how he talks.
Yeah. That's a fucking serious intro right there, dude.
Yeah.
I think it was only a matter of time before we heard the news that Wes Watson would be arrested for the fight at the gym, Elevation Fitness, where he was involved in an altercation with the 7-foot monster. He used a weapon. There was a lot of excessive force being used. He was originally charged with a misdemeanor battery assault charge, and he was arrested today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Miami, by Miami Police Department. They elevated the charge to a felony battery assault charge, and I know that he is still in custody. Whether or not there is bail, we're going to find out. But as of now, he's still in custody with the police. Now, you know, as I said always, you know, that fight that happened, he was openly challenging people to come to the gym to fight him. And, you know, it's one thing inviting people to come to the gym to fight somebody one-on-one, man-to-man, let's go. But it was another thing using weapons on the guy, having his friends involved, using excessive force while obviously the guy was done. And, you know, he claimed that it was self-defense. But I think
it was for the first, you know, little while or something. Dubs, do you think he gets charged if he never kicked him? I think he might have even gotten away with the weight belt if he never kicked him.
Think so?
I don't know. I mean, like, because that weight belt, like that weight belt isn't shit. Like, if I swing that weight belt and hit someone, or if I punch them, I'm gonna hurt him more if I punch him. It seems like obvious just looking at the video too.
But I don't think the law goes by that. I think it's the intent when you use whatever you use. Isn't that what it is?
So when I listened to that, dude, so when Steven Strangles people did this video about that, the lawyer in Florida was talking about a weapon, and he said that they definitely factor in like the weight of the thing, you know, the likely damage or whatever. And like that weight belt, unless if it really is just a fucking belt, you know, I mean, I don't know how jurors or fucking prosecutors think. They probably never hit anybody with anything, but like, you know, to somebody who's felt things in their hand before, it's like that shit's not that fucking heavy. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's true, but I don't know. And had he not kicked him, I think he would have still been charged. If nothing else, just to get some damn restitution out of him, because there was a weight used allegedly.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's other
That's
stuff. Yeah.
That weight's a whole. Yeah, I mean that's a whole different thing. But apparently that guy's not getting charged because he didn't. I mean, I don't know. He didn't get arrested yet, did he?
Yeah. Big Boy's doing a good job of blaming him for it. Remember,
oh my God, tell the people about that, dude.
So Big Boy from Strength Cartel. Actually, I didn't even know. I didn't recognize the guy. I mean, how am I going to recognize the guy? And you can see him in this video when they show it. He's the one in all white taking off his watch. Mm-hmm. And he's actually one of the Strength Cartel guys. And fucking Big Boy did a video, and his name's Rob, and he's calling him Dumbbell Rob, and he's saying, hey, I heard you like to do other things than curls with those dumbbells. And he's like posing the way they show him in the video. And you could see the guy looking at him like doing the fake laugh, but you could see in his eyes, he's like, why are you doing this? You know, and
it's one of the craziest things ever. And just to clarify on this, Donnie Baynard, there are multiple reasons that people could care about this. A, because they're retards that care about anything violent, me. B, I always find it very interesting. Like, in all seriousness, the reason why this is actually interesting to me is because like a person's life decisions and like how they carry it, especially if they're kind of in a sector that's semi near mine. Like a person who gets out of doing a fucking 8-year bid is a convicted violent felon and then finds a way to actually create wealth for themselves, notoriety. Like that shit is insanely hard to do. He's like a once in a, like, I don't even know. Like it's probably, I can't even imagine. Like he's a success story that was insanely rare. And people's ego and how that kind of thing kind of drives decisions and then where people end up. Like there's actually nothing I'm more interested in than that myself.
Well, you know, and then look at not just that, but if you're going to be on YouTube and you're going to be portraying yourself as this tough guy, and you have made a bunch of videos where you're some so-called in your world, in your videos, this violent shot caller, you damn sure do not want to commit a crime and allow the DA to use your own words against you. He's a fucking moron.
Dude. You guys, listen to this shit. After this fight, he fucking posted a photograph of his bloody shoe on Instagram. Yeah. Like a flex. Wow. His blood on his shoe after he had kicked this downed opponent 100 times, posted a bloody shoe on Instagram like, hey, somebody stepped to the plate. Didn't go well. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yes.
What are you doing?
And this is someone who claims to be criminally sophisticated.
I mean, where? Like I was telling you, I have never had handcuffs on my fucking wrist, knock on wood. And to me, I'm like, not even that. It doesn't have, like, I don't even think of it as criminally sophisticated. It's like, are you fucking retarded or not? Like, are you an actual retard or not? Like, you obviously know you have a violent criminal record. Mm-hmm. You got in a fight where you did kick the dude 100. Do you really think that because he stepped up there that you are so safe that you could post a video of it online, post a bloody shoe, and you're all, what, man? It's self-defense, man. It's self-defense. You're like, are you fucking sure? Are you fucking positive about that, dude? Yeah. You know, like you're going to risk your fucking, your future and freedom on that?
Once he could have got away with a self-defense until his friends got involved. Now you have an advantage over this person. He's a victim. And that's what's going to mess him up. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what this DA, I mean, it's crazy.
They said that the guy's face was fractured.
Fractured face and 2 black eyes.
Yeah. Fractured face is a tough one. I mean, that's like, dude, it's not easy to fucking break a person's face, dude. Mm-hmm. You know, from all the faces I've broken, it was hard every time. I'm just kidding.
You know, when you invite people over to fight, I mean, that's one thing if it's a one-on-one. You know, I think we wouldn't be in this situation if it was a one-on-one fight, because the monster would have probably never pressed charges on him. But for the fact of the weapon and the excessive force, all the friends jumping in like cowards, in my opinion, I think that's why the situation is where it is. And I'm in contact with a lot of people who are involved, as you guys probably know who watch this channel, in this altercation. So the details that are going to come out, I'm going to work on getting more details on the story as the days come here. And I just realized I didn't call him a piece of shit in this video or an asshole. I think I'm surprised.
I think John himself is actually feels a little bit bad too. Just it's like this fucking story's sad, man.
Yeah. Look at
Like
him.
this is just sad. Like I see this, like that's my genuine emotion. Like I'm gonna make fun of him because I can't help myself. But like my actual emotional reaction is like this shit just makes me sad. You know,
He literally does. He looks like he lost weight in that picture to me.
yeah.
He doesn't look
What-
like a jack dude right there, like he calls
Yeah.
himself.
So you've seen this obviously where he tried to talk to the judge, and what did you?
I
What do you think,
did a reaction video to this.
what do you
today.
think he was gonna say?
I think he was going to tell on everybody. No, I don't know.
I feel like he thought he was gonna like explain himself there, and I'm like,
Well, on a side note, do you recognize this judge?
no. Why should
This
I?
is that judge. She does a lot of those cases over there. There was a black guy that came into her courtroom, and then she was like, "Wait a minute, aren't you so and so? We were in elementary school together." And the guy started jumping around, crying, and all that. It was a pretty big clip, but yeah, that's her. So I've seen her a few different times.
What was it? What kind of hearing was it? Was it like when the
so I don't know how it is over there. I know for Santa Barbara County, like you have to see a municipal court judge and then get bound over to Superior Court. So she's probably similar, whatever they have, in their state, similar to that. That's probably what she is. She hears the initial cases and then does the bond, sets bail and stuff like that, and then bounds them over to another courtroom.
so she wasn't like actually like able to like help him because she knew him really. Like it was just more like, hey, what's up? And then she moves him along in the process, or she wasn't like able. It's not like she was a sentencing judge. So I remember you in fucking science. I'm gonna give you the minimum.
Maybe she was then and got moved because now she's doing an arraignment. But I just remember her for that. I know there's a lot of people that have seen that and they're probably like, oh shit, that is her. As soon as I saw her, I was like, okay, that's that one. But yeah, I don't know what he was gonna say. There's nothing you can say, you fucking idiot. You're paying a shitload of money to your attorney. Let him talk.
That's what I was wondering, because it's like if you're just putting in your your plea, it's like I mean, I don't know. Like, what are you going to explain? Maybe just try to make a good impression out of the gate. That's my guess, honestly, is he's probably pretty good at making the impression that he wants to when he focuses. He probably was like, I just want to make a good impression on the judge. He's probably going to try to, I don't know.
One of the viewers in here saw it, and he said that the judge actually did give him a chance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's watch it, and then whoever that is, tell us afterwards what.
Don't engage, because if you get arrested for anything else, you'll be locked up in jail until your trial.
Okay, I just want to just real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any.
I mean, that's
ego. That's ego right there.
that ego that he thought he was going to be able to sweet talk.
Yeah.
He's like, you're on it. She's like, okay, go ahead, Mr. Watson. He's like, I drive a $6 million Bugatti.
Yeah. Imagine. She should have let him talk.
Yeah, she should have, dude. Honestly, if she would have known he's a YouTube fucking person, it'd been like, hey, let this motherfucker, hey, relax, attorney. Let's let your fucking client talk a little bit. Let's see what he's got to say.
Yeah.
Go viral again.
Exactly.
In Miami, from the fight that we all know it happened, Elevation Fitness with the 7-foot monster, right? And this court hearing just happened a few moments ago, and I'm going to show it to you here in full. Now, let me explain the process really quick for people that don't know. When you get arrested, you get taken in to county jail. They book you. They process you. You wait all night. Like,
wait, he just sly circles 5'8" and doesn't say anything else about it. Never mentions it. Just like, hey, everybody who's wondering, 5'8". That's the answer. Whoever had 5'8" on their bingo card, hey, bingo.
He's always talking about how short he is. That shit is hilarious.
That's fucked, dude. I mean, I got a little bit more than that, but like, Jesus. Fucking John Bravo's probably 6'6", thinks he can just clown on everybody who's under 6 foot. Looking like a cartoon character and shit.
He does.
An asshole. They switch cells every hour so you can't sleep and you're tired as hell the next day. Don't ask me how I know this. Okay. And the next morning you wait to see the judge to see if they're going to give you bail. So this is not a trial. This is just a request for bail. Now notice something. When you're watching this, they fuck up everywhere. They don't even see the guy has a prior. Okay. But again, this is not a trial. This is just him begging and pleading with his bitch lawyer to try to get a bail for him.
His bitch lawyer.
He even got the lawyer on that.
That's just mean.
He's a
Like
beast.
for what? And dude, the fucking lawyer actually seemed like he had his shit together. Here, let me fast forward this. Yeah, Wes's attorney is the guy in the bottom right.
Michael Gottlieb on behalf of Mr. Watson.
Good morning. Do you have have you had a chance to review the arrest affidavit?
I have not seen the affidavit, Your Honor. However, I am familiar with the facts and circumstances of the case. This was a fight that happened at Mr. Watson's gym where an individual challenged Mr. Watson to a fight, came into the gym, placed a recording device believed to be a cell phone down to watch him fight Mr. Watson. I believe Mr. Watson has numerous defenses, including stand your ground, self-defense, and consent to this charge. I understand the state's theory. However, this individual came to Mr. Watson for the specific purpose of challenging him in a street fight. And then
This here, it says the CCTV shows the victim set up his phone to start recording the interaction between him and the defendant. And it says the victim pushed the defendant.
correct.
Bro, do you know what? You know what? If I was trying to be real clever, if I was on, team Watson defense, I might concoct a story where that this whole thing was fake and that this dude and I had actually agreed to make this a publicity stunt. It's like, can you prove that guy did not do this as a publicity? Can you prove that this was not a publicity stunt, that he double crossed us on? You know what I mean? Like, cause it's his word against mine. And like, it's not like an unbelievable story.
And a lot of us thought it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's believable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, his face happened to get broken, but that was in the line of duty of what we literally agreed was going to happen. Like, it was like he came in, we were going to get into a fake fight that was like a real fight, but it was agreed to in advance. And now he's double crossing us. We thought we could trust him, and look at him now trying to take my freedom.
Real quick, just on a side note, because I had said something in my video about the DA being unprepared.
Mm-hmm.
His attorney said he hasn't seen the arrest affidavit either. How do they have a hearing when no one has seen any? We know more about this stuff than the DA and the defense attorney.
Dude,
That's why
I thought John Bravo had shown the police. Or is that just the police report, or is this the police?
I think it's a police report, but still, how do they conduct a hearing? I don't know.
What's the difference between a police? I mean, I know it's like official, but like, what's the difference between a police report and an affidavit that the attorneys would review?
I would think, and this is a guess, I would think the police report is just the facts as they're gathering them, but the affidavit would be the charges and how the charges are explained, how they apply these specific charges to this case. I would think, because he said, I get the state's theory. He said, I believe that's what it is.
Well, the other thing, I mean, the judge is reading a document throughout this whole thing, so that you got to figure that's it. So I don't understand how the attorneys don't have it. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
State.
I'm reading it, Your Honor.
He struck the victim several times with the weightlifting belt. And then other people join in striking and kicking the victim.
Just like he agreed to, Your Honor.
But this blows my mind that the judge asked the DA state, like, basically, like, what are you going to say about this? And she stays quiet and reads the whole time. She never says anything. In California, they would have brought up my juvenile stuff, my convictions, anything in prison. They would have hammered me to make that judge say this dude needs to have $1 million bail.
I bet you that this DA literally had not even looked at this case for 1 second when Wes walked up. You know what I mean? Like, she probably does 1 billion of these and she's just like, whatever. Why do I need to get it's a fucking assault. It's an assault charge. Like, why do I need to dive deep into the weeds on this fucking case? Some stupid, some asshole beat up another guy. Cool. Bail setting. I'm lazy. She probably hadn't even looked at it. Cause like, how else would she miss that he has a fucking violent felony?
Well, somebody explained in my comments on my video that this DA isn't the one that's going to be prosecuting the case. She's just assigned to this hearing, which is weird. They don't do that. They don't do that in California unless your attorney that, say you got a public defender or whatever, or the DA even has trial scheduled and can't be there, they'll have somebody sit in for him. But even then, they would say this is where I'm at with the case,
Yeah.
and that DA would have argued those points. This is nuts. I've never seen this.
It's almost like working for the government, you have no incentive to do a good job or something.
That was the last administration.
Yeah. His bond's $5K.
Each one.
2,500 each one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Your Honor, I don't see any local or out-of-county priors here. I would defer to the court and just simply ask for the stay-away order.
The victim suffered a face fracture, concussion, and 2 black eyes, but it looks like you have a very valid legal argument, Mr. Gottlieb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for an ROR.
Well, your order to stay away from the alleged victim, no contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties, and you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim's home, school, and place of employment at all times. Do you understand the stay away, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So I understand he went to the gym. He punched him, and then they used a weight. He used a weight belt.
Correct.
So it aggravated. There's probable cause for, I guess, the felony. You want me to split them both, 2,500 each? I'm not giving an ROR.
I understand, Judge. 5,000.
What's an ROR?
Release on own recognizance.
So
meaning
no
no bail. Yeah. Meaning you're going to be released, but you have to be here for your dates, and you have to talk to your attorney, this and that. And she's like, no, you're not going to get, you're paying us some money.
Yeah.
And we have one guy here, Pete Carbone, says Wes Watson has got one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country. This case is getting dropped. So that's what he has.
It's funny he says that, because I just was looking that guy up, the attorney, and I'm on his website, and it's kind of hard to tell just from like a website, but I mean, look at this picture. You know how like a really fucking vicious criminal defense attorney kind of looks like a gangster themselves? It's like,
yeah,
got him.
No smile or anything. I'm here for business.
Yeah, he's got his eyes tell different stories. The one on the left is like, I'm thinking. The other one's like, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see Wes try to explain something to the judge for whatever reason.
Is acceptable. Thank you.
$2,500 bond count 1, $2,500 bond count 2. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too. Mr. Watson, I'll take care of that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat the bonds?
$2,500 count 1, $2,500 count 2 with the stay away order. If he comes to your gym, call the police. Don't engage, because if you get arrested for anything else, you'll be locked up in jail until your trial.
Okay, I just want to real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll make sure.
He handled the apology pretty good. And I'm actually being serious. Like when he tried to talk, and you're like, "Hey, can I just real quick?" Like, shut up, dude. And then
yes.
But I thought he did good apologizing. That actually came off humble. Like if she's gonna be the one that fucking sentences him, you want to come off like a person that's.
I'm interested though. I'm interested in what he was going to say based on what her statement was. Her statement was, if he comes to your gym, make sure you call police. And he was like, well, let me tell you something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me go back. I didn't even think about it.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I too. Mr. Watson, I'll take care of that. Thank you.
Punched him, and then he used a weight belt.
Correct.
So it aggravated. There's probable cause for, I guess, the felony.
I like this.
Split them both, 2,500 each. I'm not giving an ROR.
I understand, Judge. 5,000 is acceptable. Thank you.
$2,500 bond count 1, $2,500 bond count 2. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too. Mr. Watson, I'll take care of that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat the bonds?
$2,500 count 1, $2,500 count 2 with the stay away order. If he comes to your gym, call the police. Don't engage, because if you get arrested for anything else, you'll be locked up in jail until your trial.
Okay, I just want to real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll
literally, if his tone from now until forever was the tone he had when he apologized,
yes,
he will do very well. He just needs to he just needs to forget about like, however, every other fucking way that he talks is like, just talk like that, dude. You're charismatic enough. You don't need to play it up. Like, and you really need to not play it up from now on for the rest of your life.
I said the exact same thing in my video today. I said his attorney's going to tell him probably do not do any videos until this is over. Wes is going to say that's my job. This is how I get people. So he's going to say, if you do, don't talk about the case. But he can still use that tone and say, you know what? I was recently involved in something that forced me to have to reevaluate how I've been treating people, how I've been like something like that. It's going to pull people back in. I just don't think. I mean, hopefully, if he is on steroids, he should get off them now, wean himself off in case he has to do time. And I think if he does that, maybe some of that roid rage will die off.
You can get gear inside if you have money.
You can get anything. You can get anything.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I mean, it's like when something happens and an influencer gets in like a bad spot, you know, it's people will always respond to authenticity, and especially like when someone's showing genuine humility. But people can tell the difference, dude. People come up and they're giving some canned, apology that they do not mean, that they're mad that they have to give. It does not matter at all what they say. It's not going to go well. If you genuinely feel the thing that you're saying, and you're saying like, listen, I got to be honest, man, like I'm having to do a lot of reevaluation about my life, some of the things that I've been coaching people on even, and hopefully you guys will stick with me through this, because I think we really got to change direction here. Clearly, this is the result of, what I mean? Like, people would be able to tell if it was real, and then I think they'd respond well to it.
Yeah. And I think that if he could humble himself enough, get rid of the fucking ego and just be you in front of camera, I think he may win people back. I don't think he has. I think he's so narcissistic, he's incapable. And I hope I'm wrong, because I was telling someone, look, I'm an ex-convict. What I do in my daily life is a reflection on those that I left behind the walls. So I don't want to leave a bad taste in people's mouth, right? I don't want to do that. And Wes is the opposite of that. Wes is an ex-convict who's like, fuck you and fuck everything. I got money. And it leaves people with the bad taste, like, that piece of shit belongs in prison. You know what? And so the people that are in there belong to stay and should stay in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if he could change it up and be humble, and show like, hey, I fucked up and I learned from it and I'm going to grow from this, that would be a great thing. I don't want to see him go back to prison.
For sure. And the other thing too is like that whole, make yourself look like a career convict and then put convict on your driver's license is cool as long as you commit 0 crimes, because you don't want that shit in front of, like, this motherfucker does not want me being the prosecutor in this case, dude. I will paint him like he is the most excited and fucking, enthusiastic criminal of all time. Like, look at this. Look at how much this guy loves being a criminal. He put fucking convict on his car. Like,
Jesse,
it's his brand.
Jesse, like you said, look, Wes was never in a serious prison in California. All prisons in California are serious. But what I'm saying is those that are known for, you can lose your life pretty damn easy. He was never around any of that stuff, right? He did his time and he got out and put convict on his license plate. Let me tell you something. I went to prison for murder. Unfortunately, I made stupid decisions. And I was in Pelican Bay 4 different times. I was involved in a lot of violence in prison. You know what my license plate has on it? The outside of my license plate?
I love my kitty.
No, mine says hard work paid for this.
I like that better.
I have that on my car. And I did all the things this fucking idiot lies about. You know what I mean? And I would be damned if I became a millionaire today. I'll be damned if I'm going to buy a Bugatti or waste any, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this dude. What happened to him in his life that he needs attention? I told you, we talked off camera, and I told you he was on No Jumper, and he said the reason why he does what he does and he's in front of these cameras is because he loves attention. That's where he lost himself.
Yeah,
he got so caught up in trying to garner more attention that he forgot the fucking dude who figured out while he was in prison how to make money on Instagram and you know what I mean? Like, he lost himself.
Yeah, he's true. He like because he had a winning formula. Then he got super successful very, very quickly. And like, I mean, dude, the perfect one, the guy rolls up on him with the camera and it's like, hey man, hey, what do you do? He's all, I'm Wes Watson. Everybody knows who I am. It's like, no, they fucking don't, guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, they don't.
And he said again, what did you say your name was? And you could see the hurt in his face. If you look at that clip, he's like, he said Wes Watson. Like,
you're like, dude, you get approached a handful of times, like maybe a day, like so 2-3 people a day, you're out in public. Like that's not a large percentage. Not everyone knows who you are. And if you're interpreting, and the reason I bring that is like, if that's how you're interpreting your life experience, you're tripping, guy. Like, and that should be a reason for you to scale it back is like, anybody who ever drops a, do you know who I am? Unless you have just walked into a restaurant which you own and one of your employees is like, we can't get you your seat. You're like, do you know who I am? Like, that's the only way you can say that. Like, is like, I actually own this place and you should have known that. Right. Yeah. Any other scenario of, do you know who I am, is a fucking bad look, you know, here, and it can go all the way up to there. That dude, I can't imagine there's a scenario where he does not use, do you know who I am? Basically, no matter what. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's like a sickness that people get.
Yes,
you know?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I mean, just the way he tried, like those of you that have watched his videos, you already know him. Those of you that haven't, his way to try to pull you in and give him $40,000 for him to coach you for a year is to call you a bitch and a punk, say you have tits, your wife is ugly, your kids are retarded. That's his whole spiel to get you like, you know what? He's right. Maybe I do need to pay him $40,000.
Don't you think that like it would work better if he's like, let's fucking do this shit together? Like, I know it's expensive. I'm telling you, it's an enormous amount of time. It's a huge time commitment for me. Like, I could do other things. I charge what I charge because that's what my time is worth. But we're gonna do this journey together. Like when I watch those videos of him, you know, like saying like, he's like, you don't have 10 fucking G's, dude. You don't have 10. Like, do you understand how little money 10 fucking grand is? I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You've had 10 grand be a small amount of money for like 6 minutes, dude. Okay. Like literally you can't remember what it was like fucking 12 months ago when 10 grand was a shitload of money. Like you're that detached from like 5 minutes ago.
And Jesse, you and I both know, you know, you through your wife and her friends, and me through someone who dealt with him in the past. The fucking idiot couldn't even pay rent prior to prison. When he's telling all these stories about moving fucking 1 million pounds of weed a day, but you can't pay your fucking car note or help pitch in and pay rent, and you're living with a bunch of women, you bum. But now he's got a $6 million car, and everybody's supposed to know who the fuck he is.
Yeah. But that's what I always like. If I was interviewing him, and I would just be like, "So are you like?" I just want to ask one follow-up question to the: if you don't have 10 grand, then you're a bitch. So are you saying that you were a bitch up until like 12 months ago when you didn't have like? Were you a different person? Like, is this version of you a different person? I don't even understand. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But you know, and you talking about you interviewing him. I just mentioned it. Like, I would interview this dude. He needs someone to interview him that's not going to put up with this bullshit. I would interview that dude, and he tries with that. I'd be like, come on, Holmes, just let that go already. That bullshit line is why you're in the fucking boat you're in right now.
Yeah, let's be I could interview him in the exact same way. And it's not like I'm not confrontational at all. No, like it would be like I'd make him feel stupid if he starts flexing. I'd be like, bro, like, dude, relax. We're talking about like I'm asking you about your life. Like, just scale it back, dude. Like, just tell me the answer to this question, because everybody's really interested to know what you think about that. Like, just calm down. Calm the fuck down.
And here's the thing. He's been to prison. In prison, we don't put up with, we're going to call you on your shit right when you say it. So he's used to it. You know, people always say, oh, you wouldn't say that to Wes if he was in front of you. Why? The fuck am I supposed to be afraid of him? If he's going to tell me something and I know you're wasting my time with your stupid lie, I'm going to be like, homie, that's not even real. Like, you did not pull up on a unicorn, you fucking idiot. I saw you.
That's
you know,
funny too.
Like, tell me that.
I was just double track thinking about how, like, if I'm thinking like if a dude, I would never confront him, because like if he was in my vicinity, I just wouldn't fucking talk to him. Like, I would just be like, gee, this motherfucker makes me uncomfortable, and I would just be somewhere else, like on the other side of the room. But it's like in prison, you can't avoid these motherfuckers, huh?
No,
Like, so,
no.
yeah. So you're like, I can't do the
Imagine-
avoidance thing. I have to say, stop fucking making shit up. You didn't chop anybody up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up, man.
And what's even worse is, imagine this: when you're in Pelican Bay SHU, there's only 8 cells per pod, right? And if you're there 2 years, you're there with the same other 7 dudes or however many are in the pod. And a couple dudes might have cellmates, and you have to listen to this dude's fucking breathing every day because it's so quiet. You can hear when they're working out. You know that what they shit at the same time, and it fucking drives you crazy. When it's somebody you don't like, you know how when somebody irritates you, you can't in Pelican Bay SHU, you can't get away from them.
What's
You
the
gotta
longest
fly.
that you were like? What's the longest that you were in there and like at the same time as someone you didn't like? You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't
multiple
really
years?
have people. Yeah. But I never. There was never. There was a couple dudes I couldn't stand, but I just would roast them, like, you know, in the way that you can. You know, I would make fun of them. We'd clown on the tier, and you know, that's what you're doing there as a pastime.
just like write, like I would write fucking funny poems about guys and just clown the shit out of them, like poems or like whatever. I would like I would like write poems, or like I had this thing when I was in my fraternity where like I would do that. I would write poems about dudes, and you know, the punchlines were always the same. Like, that dude's head is small. This dude is for sure gay. This guy's girlfriend's fat and ugly. This dude, all the same jokes, but I could make them a million different ways. And if it rhymes for some reason, it's funny. But I would do this thing. I did this, like, I did numbers. So I would say a number, and then they'd have to repeat the number back to me. And then I would tell them what the number meant, you know? So it'd be like, I don't know. I mean, but like that kind of shit, I could entertain people at least, like, you do that like once a day. I would imagine if you're in the fucking SHU with nothing else to do, it'd be like, oh my God, it's almost showtime. He's going to entertain us for 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what else are you going to do?
Real quick, Nick, I don't know where you were or where you did time. There's no more SHU in California. You can have a celly in the SHU. If you're not validated, you're going to have a celly in the SHU. If you are validated, if there's somebody there in the SHU that you have already been cellies with, you may get a celly, but I don't know where you can't have a celly in the SHU. I had a celly in the SHU.
Victor, thank you for the super chat. I got pulled over without a licensed DA, assuming that that I was revoked because of a DUI years before. Recommended 2 years. I was like, hold on. Wait, they recommended 2 years because you got pulled over without a license? Jesus. I hope you didn't fucking get it. That seems
Jesse,
like, yeah.
I don't know if this guy Pete Carbone is in, if he's an attorney or whatever, but he's speaking again. He's the one I spoke earlier about the attorney, and he says Miami courts are the epitome of pay to play, and he has a super attorney. This will be pled down to a traffic ticket. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I guess. I mean, hopefully he make him smart enough to know not to fucking do this shit again. You know, you could. I mean, hopefully, but most likely he'll be like, yeah. I stomped this dude on camera, and what I get? Nothing. And you're like, now they're going to use that video in your civil case. You fucking idiot. Stop self-snitching on yourself on social media.
Yes. I agree. I think if he is able to buy this case, he's going to feel he really does own the world. The world is his. You know, and he's going to brag about it, and I think that would probably be the end of him.
Do you think, like, are there any, have you ever seen a fucking public defender that did anything other than shuffle papers? And like, did any public defenders actually do a good job for their clients?
I saw a couple. I remember one, he was never my public defender. On my murder case, I had private counsel. We got private counsel, of course, but there was a guy, his name was, I believe, Doug Hayes. This fucking dude, I literally heard him talk to a DA and tell the DA, I will take you outside and beat the fuck out of you. I mean,
the defense attorney said that?
The public defender told the DA that he would beat the shit out of him. I don't know what the DA told him, but this was, not in earshot of the I guess he was telling him, like, look, what can we do with this case? Can we work a deal? And I heard him. I was like, damn, I want to hire that guy. I don't even want the private counsel. I want this dude because this dude's a fighter. And I saw him. He would argue. Doug Hayes, I doubt he's still practicing, but I saw him argue for his clients. But most of them, what they do, and here's some game for you guys. Hopefully you guys never need an attorney. But one thing that I learned with my case was I hired the best attorney in my city. And it was an OG black dude told me, you know what? You got the best attorney, but you got a Santa Barbara attorney. And you're fighting a case in Santa Barbara. You get an attorney from outside of the county, they don't cut deals with the DA. They're going to come in and
they don't know. Yeah.
But public defenders trade cases. DAs trade cases.
I never even thought about that. That's super smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want like, that's the other thing. Like same thing in UFC, like with like, because there are only a handful of managers that manage a ton of guys and they're negotiating with the UFC all the time. And it's like, it's like, I don't want my manager that cool with the fucking organization that he's supposed to be driving a hard bargain against to get my max fucking contract. It's the exact same thing. Dahomey, hey, thank you very much, dude. Appreciate you. And thank you to Trinity as well. And Victor says, oh, they thought I was still revoked because of the DUI. And then OX3 hackers for dubs.
Thank you, homie.
That's a good crew to have, hackers, dude, online.
Yeah, on your side, yeah.
Dude, I remember. I'm not sure if I told you that, like this thing or not. Did I ever tell you about the Alameda or the Oakland, or maybe Alameda County? It was the Oakland district attorney that I kind of made friends with. Did I ever tell you about that? Like this dude, I met him wine tasting with my wife in Napa. Is this black dude, and like I was blitzed hanging out with my kids, and he was drunk hanging out with his wife, and we just started rapping out. We were hanging out for a couple hours, and I'm like, hey, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a district attorney in Oakland. I'm like, you're a fucking district attorney in Oakland? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so you're like doing murders and shit. He's like, yeah. So once I got him like loosened up talking about it, he told me the story about how he stuck this dude with a 35-year sentence, but there's no way I could even do justice to this. The way that he told the story, because he was just chilling now, like as if he was talking to one of his other prosecutors. And I realized it's like, dude, these guys play with people's lives like they're like ordering a fucking coffee at Starbucks. Like he offered the dude like I think 8 or something, and then the guy's defense attorney pissed him off, and so they ended up whatever. And I can't remember exactly how it played out, but I'm pretty sure that he gave the guy like 30 years or something like that. And the story he told me was just because like the defense attorney was an asshole, and I'm like,
that sucks.
Jesus, man, like.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm like, what'd the guy do? I mean, the guy, he like strong arm robbed a cannabis dispensary, put them all down, tied them up and shit. So it's not like he didn't do anything fucking, that where you could land a sentence like that. But I don't know. You must just get desensitized to that, because I feel like I would be like, fuck, man, I'm burying this motherfucker,
But that's almost the equivalent of killing someone.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to just like. Your attorney wants to fuck around? Okay, watch me fuck around now. Because once you send somebody to a prison for a long term in California, I mean, there's murders all the time over here, man. And yeah, that's that poor guy. Shit.
Yeah, he picked up. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, Jesus, that like the fucking guy didn't even do it. You just did you fucking buried that dude because you didn't like his attorney. His attorney's just fucking moving on to the next case. You destroyed this guy's life. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a high stakes game, dude. High stakes game. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I would. Yeah, I just get desensitized. I mean, fuck, do you kill 3 people? I've always heard like, it's like the first one, it's actually, fuck, I should ask it. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't. But I've always heard that like the first one is kind of like, it spins people up. Second one, maybe a little bit. Third one, it's the same as fucking ordering a drink, and that's been my experience too with things that I knew were wrong, like straight up wrong. When I first, did it or started doing it, I had overwhelming like guilt. Like, what the fuck am I doing here, dude? My dad would, he'd be so ashamed if he could see what I'm doing. And then shit, by week 2, it's the same as doing any other fucking thing. It's like your mind gives you an opportunity to make the right decision. And if you don't, it's just like, all right, this is, I gave you an opportunity. Now this is just what you are now.
People have asked me about how it hit me when I did what I did, and I'm always brutally honest. I went home and went right to sleep. But the person that I was then, that person in that world did what he was supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now I know, that was bullshit. I could have let that man go home to his wife and to his brand new baby boy, but I think that's what it is, where when I hear you say, what you said, that's a great thing, because you still have a conscience. People in certain lifestyles have to get rid of that conscience in order to survive, or they become prey.
Mhm. I never had conscience about whipping people's asses though. Like back then, where there's one guy in this fight that was a big fight with a bunch of my friends, and I fucked this guy up really bad. And then I found out later that, at least the rumor that I heard from another dude who knew the dude, he's like, that guy can't see out of his right eye, right? And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man, he's blind in his eye. And the implication was that I had done that or whatever, because in the fight, the way it happened, like he was in a sweatshirt, and I grabbed his wrist, and he tried to pull his wrist away, but I ended up with his sweatshirt like trapped in my hand. So so he's pulling it out, but his arm was stuck, in there, and I pinned it against a fence, and fuck, I hit the same eye 1,000 times. And like when he told me that, I was like, it's not like I didn't feel good about it, but I also didn't feel bad about it. But I was also a fucking kid, dude. Like I was like 21 years old, a fucking retard. If I found out that happened now, like I got in a fight with some guy and they're like, yeah, that guy's blind in his right eye, I would just like,
absolutely.
Like young people are fucking dumb. Like, they say that like a man doesn't like grow his full frontal cortex. I think they're like what, 26 or something like
25.
that.
That's
25.
okay. That's how I got out of prison. There were the Anti-Recidivism Coalition formed. People like to say the liberals let me out. No, they didn't. The liberals created the laws that incarcerated and targeted a lot of people. I broke a law. No, but there were other things like certain gang enhancements. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. The guy that did the Hangover movies, one of the producers named Scott Budnick, he's from Georgia. He moved to LA, and he got involved in this program where he would go into the juvenile halls in LA and help them like to write, right? Teach them how to write and he met these kids that were 13, 14, 15 years old, and they're facing 100 years to life, 80 years. And he's like, wait a minute, you're 13 and they're going to, like, your whole life is over. And what poor people never had before was millionaires willing to push an agenda to help us. Scott did that. Scott stopped making movies, formed the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, and he changed the laws. So what it was, first, the initial one was if you were under the age of 18, you had to be evaluated as a juvenile. Then it changed to under 21. That's where I fell under because I was 19. And then it was if you were under the age of 25, because of exactly what you said. The brain isn't fully formed. You're going to make rash decisions. But I mean, we all know, even somebody that's never been a criminal or crook or whatever, you are not the same person at 30 that you were at 20. So obviously, as you age, it keeps going. You mature, your conscience develops, or whatever you want to say, but you become more compassionate about other people.
Yeah, I mean, like it's I still see that. I mean, I think a lot. I mean, I know in my case for sure, and many other, it does have to do with like age, experience, and all that. But like, it also, I think, what's the only way I can tell this story is this. Like, okay, so after the Trump assassination attempt, that dude Destiny was going on these shows and saying that he didn't give a fuck about this fireman who got shot and killed in front of his family. Like, the guy who got hit in the head, his fucking corpse fell on his wife and children. Like, and I just thought about my own kids. If that happened to my daughters, their life trajectory would just go like this. It's like there would be no connection from their life the day before that to the day after that or ever again. It's like it just there would not you would never be able to wash that off, and it would be like a scar through their fucking soul. And I just thought about my own kids and my wife going through that, and then watching him fucking go on these shows talking about that made me so fucking mad. Like I was so fucking mad watching that shit, just because I'm like I mean, he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid. Like, you know, he doesn't have wife, he doesn't have kids, at least not like I do. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like he's either a straight up fucking psychopath or giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's like he just doesn't even understand what he's saying. I don't think he fucking even understands what he's saying. Or maybe he's actually just playing everybody. He knows it's going to make people mad and it's going to get people to, you know, watch his show. I'm not capable of doing shit like that, but he might. I don't know. You know.
I just want to interject real quick on that. It may be sensationalism is what he's doing a little bit, but I think that there are some, not all. I believe there are some liberals that are so deranged by Trump that they believe that shit. Like there are liberals that won't talk to certain family members now because they voted for Trump. You know, there are people that get fired because they voted for. It's so crazy. It's like, hold on a minute. When did it become that damn serious? Like, if you believe in that, you know, okay, fine. And I believe in this, and now let's get our work done, or let's be family. But for him to say that, it's because, in his opinion, Trump shouldn't even have been able to stand up there and give the speech, period. And it's his fault. And that's fucking nuts.
I mean, I had to tell my daughter, because like my daughter's 12, she's in 7th grade. And when she this is the first election where she was even moderately like aware of what's going on. So, and like she noticed how people would react if like someone wore a Trump shirt. She didn't really understand how deep that shit goes. And so once she figured that out, she thought it was the funniest thing ever. She started buying all this, fuck you, I'm a Trumper shit. Like, you know, I've shown you that shit before. She has a flag, a huge flag in her room, and it's Trump like this. You know?
Yeah.
And like one of the other things she has is Trump won, get over it. And I'm like, okay, look, Giselle, I understand that it's fucking hilarious that people spaz out this hard on it, but like for real, you got to fucking scale that back at school, because these teachers, it's not like, haha, like they'll hate you, like fucking for real hate. Like they will hate you if just knowing that you supported that candidate. Like they'll hate you, like as if you are that person.
Yes.
They won't ask you why you like them. You know, like if someone supports another thing, like I'll just ask them. I'll be like, okay, what do you like about them?
That's what I do.
Yeah. Ask me a question. It's just, oh, he likes Trump, white supremacist, and, you know, voted to, like, I don't know, eradicate all the immigrants. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ask me a question, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nuts. It reverts immediately to name calling. Like I'm now a coconut. I'm brown on the outside, white on the inside. It's a fact,
bro. And no one knew all along. Until finally, right? You fucking told the truth, because you're like, I like that presidential candidate.
I've been involved in fucking righteous race riots for my people, but now because of a fucking political decision. That's all out the fucking window.
Yeah, they're like, look at this guy, dude. He was a sleeper cell all along, dude. Fucking 50 years, dude. 50 years he had us fucking fooled, and now he's a Trumper. Yeah. We know the truth.
Yes,
dude. You told me the other day that they're shutting down the freeways in LA, like over the immigration stuff.
Yes, in different parts of California, they're protesting on the freeway, and it's like, look, I said in my video, those of you that saw it, those of you that didn't. The people protesting, and I don't like to use this word, but I'm going to use the word. The people protesting are Chicanos. They're not going anywhere. The people they're American. The people they want to supposedly help are pulling their hair out of their heads. Like, you're fucking partying in the streets for me? No, get out of the fucking streets and let this thing die down.
Yeah, shut up, you guys. I just want like the ones that are here for work. They're like, I just want to work a field. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to be your fucking. I don't want to be your whatever.
You have the people that want to be here. They came over here illegally. They just want to work. They are quiet. They're in the shadows right now, and their kids are fucking stopping traffic, burning the American flag. How do you think that's going to make American people feel like, you know what? They're right. Yeah. Burn some more flags and you guys should be here.
That went really well for Black Lives Matter. Like, just follow that fucking playbook, because that went really, really well. Everyone loved that movement when, you associated it with like the fucking ashes of your former town, you know?
Yeah.
Like, makes no sense. Especially the shut down the freeway thing. I remember one time during the BLM stuff, I flew into Oakland after being out of town, and I got in at like 11:30, and I'd been traveling all day. I was so fucking tired. I was dying. And I called my wife. I was like, oh my God. Because when we still lived in California, I'm like, okay, it was 2020. I'm like, okay, I'll be home in like probably 30 minutes. She's like, I have really bad news. I was like, okay, what is it? She's like, I'm reading that Black Lives Matter has the whatever, the 101, I can't remember. Like the freeways were shut down in both directions. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? She's like, they shut down the freeways. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get home from here if they were shut? Dude, if someone would have fucking taken like a 20-inch knife and shoved it into my eye, the blade would have broke. I was so mad, dude. I was so fucking mad, dude. Just losing my shit. And it was true. They had shut it down. I mean, they just like, I just don't understand. You're like, why don't you, all you're doing is creating enemies. Like,
Exactly.
obviously anyone who experiences this is like, you like, go shoot as many suspects as possible. Fuck you guys.
Yes,
you know
that's
I mean?
what it does. It creates animosity. And not only that, I said in my video that if we go back and we look at a lot of these BLM protests, there was more white people than black people.
Oh, in almost all of them.
And a lot of Antifa, a lot of anarchists. That's who's going to show up to these new deportation protests. It's going to be anarchists. It's going to be people that are in no way affected. And part of their protest is they're going to protest near an Apple store or a Nike store, and they're going to have to break into it because that's what they kept doing. Because that's part of the protest is I need that iPhone for free, and I need those fucking Nikes for free too.
Yeah, because
You know what
you owe that to me because of the mental because the other thing too is you're like, like in this case, you're like, how many people do you know that have been deported or are currently like hiding away from ICE? And they, you know, if they actually would tell the truth, it's like zero. You're like, right. You know, and like the white people at the BLM rally, that was the weirdest shit ever to me because like any kind of race shit has never made any sense to me at all. Like in terms of people's actual worldview, like, okay, like to me, like skin color is about as important as the color of your fucking hair. Like, I don't care, you know, like people have their own culture shit, but like I'm sizing up what kind of person a person is. And like, so it's just never even registered to me at all. But like, so when you watch those weirdo fucking little like liberal college weirdos and they would be at these BLM things and they would interact with black people there and they act like they're like a different species. They're like, yes, it's unbelievable that they think that you know where the DMV is and are going to require an ID to vote. You're like, that's the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life. What the fuck are you talking about? But find me a fucking black person in America that can't find their way to the DMV. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How could you possibly defend that as not the most racist shit ever?
Yeah. And then you'll see like Candace Owens,
my favorite,
and she'll be testifying before the Senate, and there will be white liberals telling her how it is to be black, and she's like, "How in the fuck are you going to tell me?" It's fucking nuts that that's that body dysmorphia. There's so much of it that was allowed in this last administration in various forms. Body dysmorphia was okay. It used to be treated. Now it's encouraged.
Yeah, the whole thing is well, now we're finding out with this USAID shit that like a lot of that stuff that just seemed totally insane to us was actually like just paid like marketing from this weird fucking $50 billion slush fund. I don't even want, let's not even derail that conversation. That's going to fucking too much. But anyway, I mean, either way, like I feel pretty like strongly that history is demonstrating that I think we were right. Now we're going to find out one way or the other because Trump is fucking slashing and burning. So it's either he was right. We better fucking hope he's right, dude. But I like everything that I'm seeing so far.
I do too. And you know what? I think maybe it was good that he didn't get his full 8.
I agree 100%.
You know, because the
4 years
second term is, what do they always call it? The lame duck term. This one, him having a break in between his 2 terms, it set him on fire.
They gave him 4 more years to learn and plan.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, like, and the other thing too is the way that they handled it during those 4 years was they made like there's no room for interpretation. Like they wanted to put him in prison, take every single dollar that he's ever had, seize all of his assets, destroy his family, and then, if necessary, murder him. So he comes in just like, all right, listen, This
Yeah.
is the fucking, this is the direction you chose. So now watch me dismantle your whole fucking machine.
I got a question. I don't know if you saw this, and so I don't know how true it is. And maybe the Carbone guy, if he's still in here, if he is, has something to do with law. So I saw a post on IG that one of the, I don't know if it was a district court, or circuit court, I don't know, said that people cannot be pardoned when they haven't been charged with a crime. And so
They're
all the
saying
pardon,
like the Fauci preemptive ones are not.
they haven't been charged with a crime. How are you pardoned for something you haven't been charged with?
Well, also what I heard is that because Fauci has the preemptive pardon, they can bring him in front of Congress, ask him questions, and he can't plead the fifth. He can't refuse to answer because he has no criminal liability. So like they could put him in a place where he either has to answer or perjure himself. And shit, I mean, if nothing else, dude, I saw something go viral on Instagram. My wife said, "Look at this, Jetsy," and it was like Trump is setting up to negotiate a deal where he ships Fauci to Putin, and Putin was going to try Fauci for crimes. I saw that. I'm like, Gabrielle, there is a 0% chance that story's true. And it wasn't true, obviously, but I was like, fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, I mean, they'll put anything out there because they know people will run with it.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, Instagram.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they're just like you can, anything that you think might go viral will, because no one's going to go fucking check it. They just see it. They're all, oh shit, forward.
Yes. And it's there it is. It became truth because they saw it in writing.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. Gabrielle's, oh shit, I gotta go because I gotta take my, but this is good, dude. I had fun. Thanks again for coming on, my dude.
Thank you.
And lo and behold, Johnny Boy. Thank you, Doom. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Doom.
All right. Later, fellas. Later, everybody.
All right, you guys. Take care.